Good evening and welcome to the Mobula EV launch. We're delighted to be here today. We're in a secret location in London area and we're here with all of the exciting guests that we have planned for you tonight. Thank you so much. If you're tuning in from anywhere in the world, welcome. If you want to use the hashtag Mobula EV launch, we'd love if you use the hashtag, and you can meet other people who are also watching the show, and you can also engage with some of the speakers and, maybe ask a question. If you want to ask a question, we can put the question to our panel. So straight away, I'm going to introduce you to a message from Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a board advisor for Mobula EV, and today I'm absolutely thrilled to talk about the world-changing launch of Mobula EV. This is more than just a product launch. Mobula EV is revolutionizing the way that we think about and interact with EV charging, especially destination charging. The innovative app and platform are set to make EV charging much more trusted and safer, as well as a simpler experience than ever before. Plus, with a focus on community and sustainability, Mobula EV is making it easier for everyone to contribute to a greener future. So to everyone at Mobula EV, I want to say a huge congratulations and good luck with the launch. I can't wait to see the positive impact you're all going to make. Here's to driving forward into a more sustainable future together.
Welcome. My name is Mark Miller. I'm the CEO and founder of Mobula, and I wanted to just tell you how we came about with the idea and the name and what we're looking to do. So the idea came to me actually while working for the wonderful company Centrica, the energy company, and I wanted to, when we left the corporate world, do something that was around sustainability. And the reason for that is because I saw while I was scuba diving, coral reefs dying all around the world. And while I was doing that, I also noticed the impact on the marine life, especially Mobula rays or manta rays. And because I, believe it or not, went to all sorts of places around the world trying to find one, I still haven't seen one. I decided to call the company Mobula EV after that. So that's the reason why it was called that. So what is Mobula EV? It is an Airbnb-inspired marketplace that connects EV drivers to private, residential, and business chargers. Our goal is to make neighborhood charging possible, and for us to extend beyond that to destination charging. So we all know that EVs are getting longer and longer ranges, where destination charging is going to become more important. And we have put features and functions together in our app so that we can make destination charging simple by sharing the private infrastructure to the EV driving public. Our mission is quite simple, and it is sustainability driven, given the story I just told, which is to aid the mass adoption of EV around the world, not just in the UK and Ireland, where we're launching today, but also around the world, so that we can take CO2 emissions out of the environment. What are we releasing today? So we're releasing a beta version today. I like to call it a minimum delightful product rather than a minimum viable product. There's a lot of features in this thing. So there's probably going to be things wrong that don't work. Please be patient with us. Go on our website and use the support function to send us what the problems are. But that's what we're releasing today. You'll hear from my co-founders in a second some of those features. And thank you very much for tuning in to our launch event today.
Cheers. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm Sham Chowdhury, CEO of Mobula EV. Interesting time at the moment how Mobula EV is actually revolutionizing the actual EV charging experience through and through. At the moment, a lot of the EV sort of charging infrastructure is quite fragmented. At Mobula EV, we're based on a very much simple principles of circular economy-based principles adopted in here, where the platform allows drivers not just to charge, but also to become a host to allow their private and business chargers available for charge. This not only allows the users to have a specific role and a stake in the company in regards to the features, but it allows them to actually share their charger, either if it's private or business. Interesting enough, we've adopted as much features as we can and listened to our EV sort of community and taken on board a lot of the pain points that they've described and gone through and tried to put as many features as we can in this release, as Mark said. And one of the most important part of the feature is that trusted and safe platform. So it's not just about connecting and charging. It's about actually knowing who's interacting with you at your driveway and knowing who it is, to making it safe and secure for both driver and host. Other elements that we've added as a host is that the payment from driver to host is direct and safe, and also the fact that there's also an element of guaranteed up to 3,000 provided for a host. There's other features that are coming as well, like maintenance and repair, and also in regards to allowing other features like dynamic pricing and intelligent route planning, which is a part of our features in future dates to come. So in regards to safety and security and all those features that we're adding in, is just to give you the more confidence wherever you are going, whatever your lifestyle is. We know that EV is not a technological change, it's actually almost a lifestyle change adjustment, really. So taking that on board, we want to integrate this app into your lifestyle, no matter where you're living, working, or going anywhere for a day out, that you can use this app easily and securely for you and your family wherever you go. Thank you very much. I'll pass it over to Naeem.
Thank you. Thanks, Shan. Naeem Atta, I'm the CTO of Mobula Ray EV. And something that you touched on, Sham, is user experience and enjoying using the app. So what we've tried to do is from a usability perspective, make sure that all the techie, geeky stuff is hidden behind the scenes, and we've streamlined the process so that the experience is as painless as it can be for a driver. So, you know, we say you park, tap and go. So you effectively park up to the driveway where you're going to be charging your EV, and you tap with your phone on the Mobula Ray token, which is attached to the charger, and the charging starts. And behind the scenes, obviously, we've used a lot of smart technology to make sure that the app is talking to the car, is talking to the charger, and the three are synchronized to give the driver the charging experience that they want. But I guess that's more out of the box, really, which you would expect from us. What I'm probably more excited about is the community-based aspect of this of our app and our platform, really, and that's where the power of this app really lies. As well as the functionality, we've got inbuilt sort of a community build up where we've got tokens. So we've got Mobula Ray EV tokens, and the community is sort of by participating in the governance and enhancements of the app, we take input on board from members who are using the app. So as a driver, you can talk about adding, you can propose new features, you can vote on features that other people have actually proposed, which is really powerful. And also you can, governance towards the actual organization. If we've got ideas and we want to change how the organization is governed, we put that to the community out there, and people vote. And that's really powerful, because that kind of brings in sort of customer feedback or community feedback right into the fabric of our service, and the beauty of that is it really makes us user-centric. I know that's quite an easy buzzword and everybody can say, but we really are driven by the community, and we do encourage everybody to please participate, and we no doubt people are quite passionate about the in the EV community. So we really look forward to that aspect of the app.
Well done. Thank you. And now we're going to hear from Jill. We have a video from Jill.
Hello everyone, I'm Jill Noel. I'm a principal consultant at A3 Management Consulting and the co-founding director of EVA England. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be part of the launch of Mobula Ray EV today. It's always great to see new products and services come to market that make it easier for people to go electric. I know that the team at Mobula Ray EV are really trying to revolutionise the way that we think about and interact with EV charging, especially destination charging. And this particularly resonates with me. As an electric car driver, I tend to seek out those essential destination chargers whenever I'm on my travels. Being able to plug in for a few hours, whether that's across the day or overnight, at lower speed and lower cost is often all I need to do, when I'm away on a day trip or a weekend away. I also love the focus that Mobula Ray EV has on community and on sustainability, paving the way for a greener future for us all, something that I think we all think about more these days. Making electric vehicles more accessible and breaking down barriers to uptake is so important as we go beyond the early adopter stage and as we move more into mainstream, which we absolutely are beginning to do now. Any product that opens the door for even more people to be part of the EV movement has to be welcome. So to the entire team at Mobula Ray EV, I want to say a huge congratulations and good luck with your launch. We are all cheering for you and we can't wait to see the positive impact that you are going to make. Here's to driving forward into a sustainable future in our electric cars, of course, together.
Oh, lovely, Jill. Thank you so much for that lovely message. And I'm delighted to have on the couch with me now Andrew Till, Mr. EV, and George Thurman from Women Drive Electric. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. First of all, I wanted to say to Andrew, I love your name, Mr. EV, and I love your bracelet. I'm sorry, I have to mention the bracelet, everybody.
Yeah, my daughter made this.
Look, yeah. It's lovely. I love the way you feature your family and you feature your lovely wife, Flaviana, as well.
Thank you very much.
It's really nice, so well done.
Thank you.
Yourself and George, you are at the forefront. You're meeting EV drivers all the time. Can I ask you, first of all, George, what are you seeing? What are EV drivers talking about right now and how are they feeling?
I can only really use my experience from the ladies in Women Drive Electric, but to be fair, they're all pretty happy. They absolutely love their EVs. Maybe we're a bit biased because we're all in one group, but they're really happy with it. Once they've got to grips with it, which I think quite a lot of women find is a great challenge, it's pretty straightforward, and there's lots of information going backwards and forwards. You can ask lots of questions, but nobody that I know of has actually gone back to theirs at all, and they're really enjoying, driving an EV.
Because I know you know that I don't drive an EV yet, right? So I'm learning as I go, and I'm learning from people like you, George, and Michelle, and everybody, So in the EV space, when you're out at these events, you go to a lot of events and stuff. So you're obviously seeing new things that are happening and seeing new things that are coming up along. But how do you feel that people can encourage others to, some people like me that haven't gone into the EV space yet, what are the main advantages that you would tell people about EVs?
I think there's lots of different things. I think people that are more sustainability driven will definitely already be quite open to the idea of having an EV. And those that are maybe utter petrol heads, I think even they can see, for them it'll be the savings that you can make, the long-term savings in having the car. And for me, it's the importance of the future for my children. So that they're quite car mad, but they're very EV mad now, and they will probably only ever drive an EV. So it's important to them, charging is normal, because we haven't really, when they were a lot younger was when we went to the petrol station. We don't really go to the petrol station anymore. So they're completely familiar, and they see it as an opportunity to go and play football or, play out, have a little bit of fun. And so it's quite normal for them, and that's my driver. But I think sustainability and obviously the cost savings and looking after our planet is becoming more and more important to people as we go along.
Yeah, that's really good point, and that's why we're here as well this evening, because Andrew, just wanted to ask you, I know that you have been at the forefront of this and you've been doing your videos, and I love the way you show people what an EV is like to drive, and you go on little trips and stuff like that, and do you think that's the way to go, that's going to change people's minds with thinking about getting an EV?
Yeah, I think it's really important to show people that it's not too big a deal. It is just a car. Once you get over the whole plugging in thing, after that, what you've got left, you've got a car that's beautiful to drive. They're quick, if you like to go quick. It's just, they're so much nicer. For me, I was never a petrol head. And driving was just going from A to B. I never enjoyed driving very much. Since getting an EV, I have enjoyed driving. And now I'm in 6 years, is it 6 years or something like that? I've been driving EVs, and I would never drive anything else. But in terms of, just to say, in terms of getting people interested in EVs, I do think it's really important that we don't shove it down people's throats too much. I think we should let people just try an EV. Bums in seats are important. Try an EV, have a go, see if it's for them. It's not for everyone yet, and we shouldn't pretend that it is. I think it's really important that we just tell people to give it a go, and hopefully if someone knows someone that can go with them and charge for the first time and that kind of thing, it's really important, I think, to get over all that and just do it.
Yeah, and were you always into sustainability? Like when did you decide to go get your first EV?
I'm terrible with dates, but it was ages back when Elon Musk showed off the Tesla Model 3 on stage.
And you fell in love?
I fell in love with the idea, yeah. But I just think, that just seemed something so impressive and so different and so important. That the moment I got a driveway, we got an EV, but at that point we didn't have a driveway and there wasn't very much charging infrastructure around. So I just think, that for me was the catalyst. That was seeing the Model 3 launch and then trying an EV. Got a second-hand Nissan Leaf. It was relatively cheap, and just from that moment onwards, loved it.
Brilliant.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Say that again?
He's got both ends of the spectrum when he's got a Leaf and a Tesla.
Yeah. And for you, George, tell people a little bit about Women Drive Electric.
So Women Drive Electric was, or is, a Facebook page that I started a few years ago where I was trying to find out as much as I could about electric cars. My husband started an electric business, and so I was kind of forced into them. I don't take information in very well when I'm told, so I like to go and learn for myself because I just take it in better. And because of my age, my forum is Facebook, so I had a look on there, and I was quite confused by kilowatt hours and all the things that people were saying and battery sizes, and some of the comments were quite rude. It was kind of, people were expected to do your research, but I didn't understand what to research. So I started Women Drive Electric, which was just me and a couple of girlfriends, and mainly most of my aunties and my mum to begin with, which was just to talk about them and ask questions. The difference with our group is that I went along to a lot of the shows and met people like Jill, for example, that was on there, and asked her to join the group so that she could impart her experience when people asked questions, because I couldn't answer all the questions to begin with. And it's kind of grown. We've got 2,700 women in there now. Lots of companies like Podpoint are in there. We've got Octopus in there. Lots of different women from all sorts of different parts of the EV spectrum, all there to offer friendship and help to each other.
Well, that's really lovely. So definitely check that out, Women Drive Electric on Facebook. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group and you are a female EV driver, definitely check that out. And Andrew, I noticed that, your wife drives the cars on your videos and stuff, and your YouTube is a medium that you use a lot. How do you feel about, today's social media, if everyone searches the hashtag Mobula Ray EV launch, the power of social media can be so strong when it comes to spreading a message. But there are lots of negative messages out there as well. So have you any kind of thoughts around, do you think it's eventually going to cancel itself out, or our voices are going to get louder, or how would you advise people to be using social media if they are in the EV space?
I think just tell the truth.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think people don't want to be lied to. If all EV owners said, oh yeah, it's always perfect, we never have a problem. You just go to a charger, it's easy, you just plug in and you just walk away. For a lot of, for Tesla owners, that is actually the case most of the time. But for the rest of us, it isn't always. And I think it's important that we don't sugarcoat it. And I think people that don't have an EV yet, they need to know that sometimes there will be issues. Not many issues, not as many as they think, perhaps, but sometimes there will be. I just think it's important that we're honest about it, because it's always getting better. It's amazing the number of chargers that are put in now. Going along the motorway, almost every time I stop at the services, I say, oh my God, there's another big hub there. And so it's always improving. And I've driven to Italy 4 times now, and it gets easier each time. And I just think honesty is really important, yeah.
Lovely. I love that. Andrew Till, thank you so much. And George Thurman as well. Speaking of Women Drive Electric, we have a message here from Michelle.
Hi, it's Michelle from Women Drive Electric. Just want to say a quick thank you so much for all your support from Mobula Ray. We wish you the very, very best of luck in your new launch and all the best for the future. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, so welcome back, and don't forget to use the hashtag Mobula Ray EV launch if you want to see us on Twitter. If you want to ask a question on Twitter, use the hashtag Mobula Ray EV launch. And thank you so much for your support. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, I see Marvin has just put a comment on. Mr. EV says, honesty is the key. Thank you, Marvin, for your lovely comment on LinkedIn. It's great to see the live stream, and we'd like to thank Ian Anderson-Gray for facilitating this for us today. So we appreciate that. And you guys who've kindly come all the way to see us, thank you so much. So now we have Liz Allen on the couch, and we have Sam Clark, same name as me, Sam, but you know, a little bit different. Sam Clark, tell us a little bit about yourself, will you?
Okay, well, thank you for the introduction, Sam. So my name's Sam Clark, I'm Chief Vehicle Officer at GridServe, but more widely, I've been an EV driver for 22 years now. I've run many EV-related businesses. So yeah, I guess I've been in the space a long time, and a few Guinness World Records and things like that along the way too. So
he's so humble, isn't he, folks? Honestly, I mean, this guy is such a trailblazer, and you know, credit where credit's due. Okay, I think it's fair. I think we all need to give credit to even the likes of George and Kate and these people who are paving the way and are actually trailblazers. So, you know, give yourself some credit. So the reason you're here sitting on this couch is because you are doing amazing things. And, you know, this is the kind of people we want to be hanging out with. Like Andrew's saying, people who are honest, spreading an honest message, community-focused, brand advocates. It all creates brand advocacy, as you know. So, yeah, don't be afraid to give yourself a pat on the back. And the fact that you look very nice on the camera helps a lot, right? Doesn't it, Liz? Yeah, it does, yeah. So... So Sam, tell us about, you know, like you're a bit of a trailblazer, you're outstanding in your field, but, you know, sustainability, was that always something you were interested in, or did it just grow as you got into the EV space?
it's definitely the latter, Sam. When I guess going back 20 plus years now, I saw the opportunity for EVs in China a long, long time ago, where EVs, particularly on two wheels, were prevalent everywhere. Already, you know, they weren't the greatest things in the world, and they were disposable items almost on the corner of a supermarket in China. But there were thousands of EVs everywhere, and I saw the opportunity there as a commercial one, thinking, well, we've got to bring this sort of technology to the UK and to Europe. And so I found, selfishly and honestly, that my drive was around what commercial opportunity could EVs create for me and my business at the time. But you know, 20 years later, I'm a little bit older now, and with kids and much larger responsibilities and a far more mature approach perhaps to the climate, and I'm very passionate about wanting to make a difference and hopefully help educate other people along that journey, and leave the planet in a better place than we found it, right? Because that's ultimately what this is all about. Because as is often quoted, you know, we're the first generation to really recognise climate change and the last one to do anything about it. So for me, you know, anything that I've learned in my experience, I'm very happy to try and share amongst others, because I think if that means that other people can make the switch to a more decarbonised world, then it's better for all of us.
So the reason you, like both of you on the couch, is because, you know, passion. Your passion is driving you, and passion drives so many things. You know, inventions, innovation, great business ideas, and you know, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to do things like bring them in from China. Yeah, let's share this great idea. So, Liz, for you, you know, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you are so passionate about what you do.
So I am a business improvement consultant, but I've been married to a professor of climate science for 20 years. And he works for University of Reading, so climate change has been something that's been on our agenda for a very, very long time. And actually, I sort of realised that he's obviously the academic side, I'm the business side, and actually I recognised that I wanted to give back myself in order to do something alongside him. So he's worked on the IPCC report, And I just wanted to actually do something. So I started a podcast in December 2020 called Electric Evolution. And my aim was, we decided that we wanted to move to an electric vehicle, we wanted to get solar panels, we wanted to get battery storage. And I just thought, well, if I don't really know much about this, then it would be nice for me to learn and share it. So actually the podcast was born, and I interviewed lovely people like Sam. I interviewed George and Kate Tyrrell, who's here at the moment. So, and a number of different people, and it's just been such a wonderful journey, but actually coming together to, I want to make sure that, you know, everything that we've done at home, I've shared with kind of people on social media to make sure that everybody knows that EVs aren't difficult to take on. We've got a used Ioniq Electric, which we bought a Hyundai last year. That's worked really well. I use public charging. We've got a drive, so we've got a charger at home. These things work if you want, you know, if you want them to. You just got to put a little bit of effort in. We've got battery storage and solar panels now, so we've kind of gone the whole, you know, sort of whole 9 yards. And actually, we've done it in a really short length of time. Yeah. But this journey is just still moving, and now what I'm looking at doing, what I'm doing is supporting charge point operators with the customer journey.
Excellent, well done. You see, you know, it's like me when I was doing the LinkedIn audios, and that's how we actually connected. Was you jumped in, you were listening, and I was like, oh, she looks very interesting, so I connected with you. You know, but I mean, the social media, the podcast, but even I knew nothing about electric cars until I started doing the LinkedIn audios. So I'm still learning, you know. So Sam, tell me, I know you mentioned, you know, we're getting a bit older and, you know, there's kids and stuff in the picture and all now. But what do you think is important, like, for helping people to switch to EV? Or, like, the same question I said asked Andrew, you know, like, what do you think needs to be done to encourage more people to switch to EV?
Well, I think for a start, the things that Liz and her better half, or worse half maybe, you know, are doing in regards to you know, I've known Liz a couple of years now, but you know, the effort you put into trying to reach out to people like me and many others, you know, and share that message is really important. I think that's one of the methodologies to do it. And then you know, the things like the IPCC report put scientific fact into the equation. There's a lot of detail in those reports, and I can't even confess to have read them all myself, but some of the graphs are terrifying. So some of that information is really, really important. So I think there's an element of scientific approach that people need to really understand, that the climate change is a serious, serious problem. Then we need to share that information through, you know, the work that Liz is doing and the work that we're doing here, and everything that we can do to try and spread that message. But also demonstrate the real world application of these technologies. Electric vehicles work. You know, the range anxiety and charge anxiety have been phraseology that's been bandied around for years. Range anxiety is largely diminished now because the vehicles are going really long distances, and the charge anxiety is the next thing to crack. And the infrastructure is getting better by the day. You know, there's been exponential growth in that department now over the last couple of years. So there's really not too much left for the naysayers and the Nigel Farages of this world to try and batter us with, because they're running out of you know, car fires in airports that have got nothing to do with electric vehicles, or cars getting written off because of flooding, which turns out to be an electric gearbox, nothing to do with an electric car. You know, it's getting harder for those that are a little bit pessimistic, or the laggards, to push back on what technology ultimately is working, and it's making a quantifiable effect and a material difference, and we've got to just keep doing that. So it's a long way of answering your question, Sam, but I guess as many bits of information as we can get out there, not sort of bashing people over the head with EVs, but just showing that it can be done, you know, and that's all we can do, really.
Yeah, and even the fact that you guys all showed up here today is a huge testament to the community and the support that you give each other. So it's really nice, and we're very grateful for it. So Liz, finally, just going to go to you. You know, do you live in this area, actually? Yes, you didn't have too far to travel.
No, I only had 7 miles to go, and it took me nearly as long as it took Josh Thurman to get here.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything, you know, your podcast, right? Yes. So, you know, if anyone was interested in being a guest on your podcast, you know, like, can they just reach out to you on LinkedIn, or, you know, so I think your podcast is going to help spread the message, like Sam was saying, you know. Is there anything we can do to help you push that?
Well, do you know, actually, I've got to say, so Chris Hunter, who works with me in Full Circle, he was talking to somebody, as you do, down the pub last week, who actually had just moved to an EV. And Chris said, oh, so what made you move to electric? And he said, oh, I've been listening to some podcasts. Now, Chris didn't know this, but basically this chap, who he's known for ages, said, oh, I've been listening to some podcasts and one's called Electric something. And he went, Evolution?
No.
And Chris went, I work with Liz. So actually, do you know what? All I want to do is just keep moving the needle a little bit.
Yeah.
And if I can get a few people to just decide to move to electric or to become more sustainable or to understand these things, then I've done the right thing. I've done the right job.
Well done, both of you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Sam and Liz. Thank you so much for your support. And now we're going to get a good look video from Thanos.
Hello everyone, I'm Thanos Chavlis, board advisor for Mobula EV, and I'm thrilled to discuss today's significant launch of Mobula EV. Mobula is revolutionizing EV charging by focusing on destination charging. Their innovative platform and app are designed to simplify and secure the charging process, making it more accessible across the UK and Ireland. This launch is more about just introducing new technology, but it's also about fostering community that supports sustainable living and making electrical vehicles accessible to everyone. What truly inspires me is Mobula's EV commitment to inclusivity and accessibility. They're democratizing access to electric vehicles and dismantling obstacles, ensuring that EV revolution is inclusive of all, regardless of one's background. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the Mobula EV team, and we're all very excited to see the positive impacts of your work.
I know, yeah, it's great. We're just chit-chatting here in the background. Thank you so much for your tweets and everyone who's using the hashtag. Don't forget to ask a question using hashtag Mobula EV launch. Sorry, all one word. Yes, apologies. Now we have Colin Walker and Kate Tyrrell with us. If you're in the EV community, you might be familiar with these two personalities. Very, very strong. Colin Walker, introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about what you do.
Hi, my name's Colin Walker. I'm Head of Transport at the rather flamboyantly named Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit.
I love that name.
I know, it's ECIU for short. Yeah. But I suppose in a nutshell, most of my work is trying to kind of challenge a lot of the myths and the misleading narratives, we call them, that surround the whole EV transition and try to get the actual facts out there.
And you're doing a great job with that, because I've been following your Twitter since we met at the LinkedIn Audio, and you certainly are doing that. So tell me, what are the top 2 myths that people often say about EVs that you know are not true?
To be honest, it changes an awful lot of the time. One myth will be really strong and then suddenly everyone will stop talking about it. So a few months ago, all people were talking about was this idea that the allegedly extra weight of EVs was going to result in all our car parks collapsing. And then everyone realised that was absolute nonsense. So then that kind of faded away. And then it was suddenly, EVs cost a fortune to insure. Well, actually, no, insurance premium is actually a little less than petrol. So it kind of ebbs and flows. So I think we can discount a lot of the slightly more nonsensical ones. I think the persistent ones are the idea that EVs are too expensive. And undoubtedly, upfront costs for new EVs are very high. But new cars have always been prohibitively expensive for most people. That's why 80% of car sales in the UK are second-hand. And what we have seen in the second-hand market is EVs have largely reached price parity with their petrol equivalents. So we've actually got through that barrier. But even though we are at price parity, people still believe that EVs are not for them, that they are too expensive. So trying to get through that kind of resistance is difficult. And I think one of the other persistent ones that is holding people back is this notion that if you buy a second-hand EV, you're going to, in a few years' time, have to spend a huge amount of money replacing the battery, which is not borne out by any of the facts. Often the batteries outlast the cars. But yeah, I think consumers seem to need more reassurance that they're going to be fine.
So I've actually got one to add to that.
Yeah, great.
Just
Add away.
Add an extra one into the mix. I got my village newsletter the other day, and it's a tiny little village in the Southern Cotswolds. It's really cute. And on it was talking about the potholes on the local roads, and how if you have an electric vehicle, if you could please be a little bit more careful on the soft verges. And I thought, I'm going to write to whoever is the editor on this newsletter and let them know that they are very wrong.
I think I know exactly which article that's probably prompted that. The Daily Mail wrote an article claiming that heavier EVs were responsible for Britain's pothole problems. But the report they quoted actually made no reference to didn't use the phrase electric vehicle in it once. It was completely misleading for them to claim that this report into potholes was blaming EVs. So we were actually successful in actually writing to the Daily Mail and getting them to change the headline, which is great.
Oh, really?
But no,
Good, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is no one sees the correction.
Yes.
Everyone goes away remembering the article,
It's like
and it's a tiny little begrudging kind of, yeah, fair
We'd like
enough.
to apologise.
Yeah, so, yeah, and that is a wonderful example of how this misinformation spreads, and it can
It's in the
pop
Village
up.
newsletter now.
Well, it's in the Village newsletter, like, you know, it'd be on in
The
mass.
FUD is
If it was
real.
Ireland, it'd be in mass, you know, on Sunday.
So it's spreading from the Daily Mail down to Stroud Local.
And so for you then, Kate, let's go to you, Kate. So Kate, the famous Kate. Kate hates that microphone, doesn't she? She's like,
Right, take it
can't
away.
Get the microphone back up, Kate. But Kate, you're brilliant. You're doing amazing things, especially in the safety space, especially when it comes to Charge Safe and what you're doing there. And, you know, I'd like to commend you on that because, you know, it's really important because I since I've been learning about EVs, I have noticed that I'm looking at chargers and where they're located and stuff. And there was one, I think I mentioned this to you the other day. It was a hotel, quite a good hotel where I live in Wexford. And the charger was right down the back where the back kitchen door was. And there was no lighting or anything. And I was like, oh my gosh, like imagine that's where the electric charger is. So tell us a little bit about Charge Safe and what you do.
So I think the really positive thing here is that the new installs that we're seeing that are being delivered now are so much better than the legacy stuff that's out there, and likely the charge point that you visited, I imagine, was probably a Polar Now BP Pulse, usually on a massive concrete plinth right in the furthest corner that nobody would want to possibly visit, which seems to have been the template contract that went out for those installs. So what we do at Charge Safe is we're a 5-star rating system for safety and accessibility of public charging infrastructure. That 5 stars is really there to inform members of the public on where they can best charge their vehicle if their personal safety is a major consideration. So at 2 a.m. your needs will be very different to what they are at 11 a.m. And just to be more informed on, you know, what the lighting is like, what the security is like, if there's a decent amount of human activity, or if you're visible to the road, at least from where you're charging. Accessibility is a huge one for us. So we've recently had the BSI PAS 1899 published, which is fantastic. It's the standard that helps support anybody delivering electric vehicle charging infrastructure to ensure that it's super accessible. However, it is the minimal requirement of delivering EV charging infrastructure. So what we do at Charge Safe is we look at the overall user experience and how we can ensure that we're not just doing the minimum, that we're really making as much of the infrastructure as safe and accessible for everybody to be able to use it, whether they are in a wheelchair or you know, they only have the use of one hand, if they are a pregnant mother with several smaller children that they have to be concerned about getting in and out of the vehicle safely, elderly people. There's just so much more to it. So yeah, really what we're doing is raising awareness for the infrastructure and the challenges that are there. I'm really grateful to say that actually the most recent stuff that's being delivered is up to speed. But we are at, 60,000 chargers installed, I believe. And when we started Charge Safe, it was closer to 20,000. Right. So in 2.5 years, we've tripled the infrastructure, and we're only just coming up to a standard that is passable. So we have got our work cut out for us when it comes to those legacy installs and retrofitting and making improvements to what's already in the ground.
And that's only in the UK, is it?
Yeah, just in
so you
the
still haven't
UK.
come to Ireland yet?
No.
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
We need to get over to Ireland. We've
Well,
been
you know
asked to
someone
come to
now in
Ireland.
Ireland,
Yeah,
so-
yeah. We've been asked by a couple of businesses, in fact, to
Yeah.
come over to Ireland. So
Yeah.
we will be over there soon.
Great. Well done. And, you know, I think if anyone is interested, it's ChargeSafe.
ChargeSafe.uk.
.co.uk.
.uk.
Not
Apologies.
.co.
And
Apologies.
also we have an app just like you guys.
So,
it's the EV Charge Safe app, which is available on iOS and Android. So whilst you're downloading your Mobula Ray EV app, get the charge safe one too.
That I recommend doing that, everybody, or we'll get in trouble with Kate because she has the microphone. So, Colin, back to you. So, Colin, were you always interested in sustainability and all of this, or like, did you just kind of end up in this space?
Well, good question. I for about 15 years, I worked in advocacy and campaigning for a lot of charities. So people like Save the Children, Mind, Plan. So I've always kind of had a general kind of
just campaigning for something.
Yeah, just try and...
He's a good guy, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just a kind of general motivation to work in something where you think what you're doing is making things
with a
just a tiny bit better.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I had a break, and my main hobby is cycling, so I ended up at British Cycling for 3-4 years.
That's right.
Which is pretty cool when your main office is like the Velodrome in Manchester and you're watching a GB team just going round and round and they come back from the Olympics with like 10 golds. It's pretty awesome. But I think I'd always wanted to kind of get more involved in the climate crisis space, like do my bit to try and help move us to net zero. And there's probably areas that people focus on more than transport, but it is the single biggest emitting sector of CO2 in the UK. And we don't talk about it enough. And over half of that comes from the cars that we drive. We're simply not going to achieve net zero if we don't shift to zero carbon emitting vehicles. So I do think by trying to tackle the misinformation around EVs that it's holding people back from making that transition. Hopefully I'm doing a little bit to help us move to net zero. And also deliver all the... People just don't seem to understand how much they can save by driving an EV. So I honestly believe, particularly in the midst of a cost of living crisis in the UK, that if we can help people get into EVs, they'll ultimately end up with more money in their pocket, which is something I think a lot of people really need.
I don't think people hear that enough, though,
No.
do they? I don't think so. I think they seem to think it's not, that it's more expensive.
We often lead on the economic benefits of moving to an EV rather than the environmental, because we think that actually probably resonates with more people. Right. That's a good example of the misinformation doing the rounds. People aren't very good at knowing quite how much running a car costs. I don't think people realise how much they spend a month on running a car, whether it's the depreciation, the insurance, the fuel. But when you add it all together, and then you go in and say, well, you can literally fuel an EV for like 9-10 times less, then those monthly costs really come down.
Right.
But it's definitely those upfront costs that are holding people back, which is why I'm so excited about what's happening in the second-hand market. We're beginning to see, all those EVs that were sold to leasing companies about 3-4 years ago start arriving on the second-hand market in quite considerable numbers. That's why Auto Trader have said recently that EVs are the fastest-selling fuel type of car on their websites. The market's pretty much doubled in a year. So people. I think what this shows, when you get price parity, it demonstrates that the demand for EVs is there.
So then, Kate, actually, that would actually make a difference to you then. I mean, and then Mobula Ray EV as well, because if that's true, then more people are switching to EV. This message needs to get out there. Just a final question to you, Kate. Is there any way that people watching today could support you in your quest, I suppose? Do you have like a blog or anything we can share, or is there anything that you're up to soon that we can support?
I would love to have a blog that you could share. I just don't have the time to write one, I'm afraid. So I think the best and easiest way to support us is to download the app. Members of the public can actually register their details and rate public charges themselves.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah. So and they can collect points, and points will equal prizes to come soon. But we have got like a championship league table, and I know that we have people who drive up and down the UK on their weekends just so that they can collect all that information and get to the top of the leadership board, which is absolutely brilliant. So yes, please just download the app, join our community and give us as much feedback as you can, because as you'll know, releasing an app, it comes with a huge amount of technical challenges, so feedback is super important.
Yeah, so they can help you with feedback and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Marvin's watching, and Lucy, I saw Lucy putting up a comment there, so I know there are lots of people that support you a lot. And Colin, is there anything you have coming up before we wrap up?
I guess the main thing is, a lot of our time is just trying to kind of like challenge misinformation in the media, or do our own analysis and try to get that placed. But I mean, be careful what you're signing up for. But if you want to keep an idea of what we're doing, maybe follow me on Twitter.
Oh,
Because
don't maybe.
you won't
Just
be-
follow him on Twitter.
you
Colin
won't-
Walker
it's
3,
not
is it?
quiet.
Colin Walker?
I can't even remember. Colin
Anyway,
Walker
it'll be on the
79 or
hashtag
something,
today.
yeah.
If you check out the hashtag Mobula Ray EV launch, you will see Colin's tweets, I'm sure, later. Thank you so much, Kate and Colin. And we're going to get a good luck video now from Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate Bourcherel, and I've been advising Mobula Ray EV since a great idea took its first steps towards reality. I'm delighted to celebrate the formal introduction of Mobula Ray EV today. Mobula Ray isn't merely unveiling a new product, they're transforming our perceptions and interactions with EV charging as we move about our daily lives. Their pioneering platform and application are designed to enhance the reliability and safety of EV charging, offering an unprecedentedly straightforward charging experience throughout the UK and Ireland. The emphasis on community and environmental sustainability, combined with a simplified charging experience, even in unfamiliar places, was what attracted me to Mobula Ray EV. Their commitment to inclusivity and accessibility and mitigating our impact on the planet aligns with my own values. I extend my heartfelt congratulations and best wishes to the Mobula Ray EV team on the launch. Here's to advancing together towards a sustainable future.
So, welcome back. Gosh, this night is flying in. Thank you so much, everybody who is watching. We know there are people watching on Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for your tweets. If anyone could just check the tweets there, the hashtag for us, and see if there are any questions coming in before we wrap up, that would be great. I know that we are delighted that we have two surprise guests here with us today. We have Leon from Pickle. He's an insurance broker. And then we have Neil from Power.
Spot on.
Got it. We were having a little debate earlier about that. So it's Neil anyway, that's the main thing. Hi Neil, how are you?
I'm very well.
Why are you here to support us?
Well, we help businesses with electric vehicles with their charging. And businesses often place a driver into a vehicle for the first time, often without a lot of guidance. And therefore, we will need ways that we can optimize charging, give them more charging opportunities. And this is one of these examples of where sharing is caring.
So you like the idea, and you know the whole. That's brilliant. And tell us a little bit about you, though. Tell us a bit more about you.
Mark and myself both share a common background. We're both from large energy companies. We've seen the transition happening, and it's happened too slowly, perhaps, in large energy companies. So I had the chance to jump out and build my own business, so I did. And I mean, these guys are doing the same. They've got an incredible setup, and hopefully we're going to see more success to make it easier for more drivers to charge.
Well, thank you for your support. And we also have Leon here from Pickle. So, yeah, tell us why you're on board with Mobula Ray EV.
So similar to Neil, we're there to support from an insurance perspective. Unfortunately, with all these new technologies and ventures, insurance needs to be in the background. And ultimately, what we're there to do is provide peace of mind for both hosts and users of the platform. That should anything go awry whilst charging, there's peace of mind that they're adequately covered.
And it is something, isn't it, peace of mind, because it's one of the things, we did a survey recently, and some people were saying, I don't want a stranger coming up to my door, well, mostly it was the guys that were saying it, when the wives. But, it's interesting. So that little bit of peace of mind is actually really important. It's a big thing. It's really important.
It is a big thing, yeah.
That's what you do. You give peace of mind to the people who will be using the charger.
Exactly that. Like Mark said earlier, it is the Airbnb of the EV charging space. That's what Pickle, is based on, is the sharing economy. So it is, similar to an Airbnb. You've got a stranger coming to stay in your house. You want peace of mind knowing that should anything go awry while they're there, you are covered. So very, very similar. It's a very similar concept. So one that we're happy to be able to support.
Well, we really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And Neil, is there anything else you want to add about? I know maybe Mark and Naeem and Sham are here. Is there anything you want to say to the lads tonight?
I think these guys know it. They've been down this road before. Building a business is really hard, but as long as you've got an important purpose in mind, you commit your energy, you can turn it into something incredible. So I'm super excited to see where this can go. It's one of these opportunities to really shape driver behavior. and shaping driver behavior, behavioral change is what we're going to need to go from, I think we're at just broken 2.5% of all vehicles on the road are electric now. So as we go out of that 2.5% and move towards the other 97.5%, we're going to have to do everything we can to keep it simple, keep it trusted, keep it safe, keep it secure, to make it easier and easier for drivers who maybe aren't as enthusiastic as the first drivers to enter electric vehicles.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Neil, and thank you, Leon. Now we're going to get a good look video from Sahas.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sahas Kata. I'm the CEO of SmartCar. I'm thrilled today to talk about the exciting launch of Mobula Ray EV. Mobula Ray EV isn't just launching a product. They're revolutionizing the way that we think about and interact with EV charging, especially with destination charging. Their platform and app represent a leap forward, promising to enhance the EV charging experience with a great focus on safety, simplicity, and reliability. And they're bringing this to the United Kingdom and Ireland too. What really excites me is how Mobula Ray EV has partnered with SmartCar to simplify the charging experience. Through vehicle connectivity, they're making EV charging more accessible for everyone and to ensure that everyone can contribute to a more environmentally thoughtful future. So, to the entire team at Mobula Ray EV, I'd like to extend a heartfelt congratulations and good luck with your launch. We can't wait to see the meaningful impact that you're going to all make. Here's to driving forward into a sustainable future together.
Right. There you go.
Hi, Sam.
So, Mark, you're back with us. Yeah, we were just checking our Twitter and checking our LinkedIn for questions. So I don't know if there's any questions that have come in. We can't see any here at the moment. But definitely, I know Mark wants to tell us a story. This is the closing, Mark, so I'm going to leave it up to you you're going to talk about
I'm going to talk about one of the reasons that we want to do this, which is climate change and sustainability. Many people buy EVs because they like the power, the speed, the tech. I believe in electric vehicles because they help reduce the carbon emissions in the environment. So I'm going to tell you a little story, which is that in the UK, as an example, there is roughly about 60,000 public chargers. There's roughly 1.6 million plug-in EVs. And there are actually, roughly speaking, about 700,000 private chargers at people's homes and in businesses. And if Mobula Ray can even manage to get 5% of that 700,000, that's an additional 35,000 chargers that could be made available to the driving public. And as I said before, lifestyle charging. So you park and plug in when you do anything for a little bit of time, whether that's going for a day out in Oxford or London, or you're doing a hybrid commute, or you're spending some time at a relative or friend, or even staying overnight at a hotel. Wherever you charge for more than 3 or 4 hours in a level 2 charger that's shared on Mobula Ray, that's part of your lifestyle. That's when you plug in. And putting another extra 35,000 chargers on the road, so to speak, basically means that if you keep the ratio of chargers to EVs the same, means roughly an extra 1 million EVs on the road. That equates to, roughly speaking, using a medium-sized EV in terms of their emissions, it means that you can actually support it reduces the carbon emissions by 37 million metric tons of CO2. And that is equivalent to roughly 224 million mature trees, which probably is hard to imagine. And so that's equivalent to 15 new forests, which is one of the largest forests in the UK. So that's actually one of the main reasons why I started this business, why I'm passionate about it. I still go diving now, and I see corals dying everywhere from climate change. A small increase of temperature. Last year, again, there was a heat event across all the corals in in the ocean. And although you don't see it, the ocean is actually one of the largest carbon sinks in the world. It's actually the main carbon sink in the world, much more so than forests. And if the ocean goes wrong, this planet's going to go wrong. And that's why I passionately believe about this.
Thank you, Mark. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much. Mark, well done. Congratulations on tonight.
Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you, everybody who's here. Round of applause, everybody. Hello. And to everybody at home who's watching, thank you so much.
Everyone.
Don't forget, thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to download the app. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you very much. I'm really humbled that all these special guests have come to here for this little event. And I'm very proud of this little startup doing an event like this. It's mainly actually because of Sam. She's helped us build a community. I'm very thankful to her, and to bring all these people together is very, very special. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Ian Anderson-Gray as well for providing us with the live stream. And folks, if you can share this, if you're on YouTube, share with your friends, spread the word for us, use the hashtag Mobula Ray EV launch. We have a LinkedIn audio event every Tuesday, 1 p.m. If you want to join us on that, our guest next week is Lucy. Then we have the following week, we have Nigel. We have a special guest every week, and follow all of the panelists. Andrew, we'd like to thank Andrew and Kate and George, and who else was there? Sam and Colin and Liz Allen. Thank you, everybody who joined us. Leon and Neil as well. We really appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night, folks.
Bye.
Beautifully put, Mark. Next.